Folks, just a couple of things here. We're going to be descending shortly, and we've got 9 right. So we've got to change this Gavin. So let's just go down. Now we're going to go ahead and this is Glavin at now it's 12,000. So we're going to go ahead and change this to a 12,000 foot restriction. And there might be a speed associated with that change. Now I'm going to go ahead and click insert into the flight plan, and then it's 250 knots on the speed restriction. So and again, speed restriction down here at 250, and then we're going to click enter and enter again, and then click return. Clear that. So we got 250 knots at 12,000 feet over Glavin, and then we're going to expect the 9 right approach. As we're landing, the 9 rights changed. The wind kind of shifted during our flight, so we're going to go to Atlanta, and now we're going to change this runway into 9 right. Again, the approach is going to be an ILS via. We want to go via, let's see, 9 right via what? Just pulling the 9 right up. Probably D-fins is a good one. Or we can go straight full on that. And then star the Glavin one. That's correct. Oop. We got to change that to Glavin. And the transition is going to be the Rusa. Shoot. It's kind of weird here. There we go. Rusa transition. Click it. Insert. And then let's take a look. It's going to recalculate everything for us. There we go. So you can see we are top of descent here, and then look at that speed restriction over Glavin at 12,000 feet. I wanted 250 knots at that speed, so that was the speed restriction. Speed constraint, Glavin. Alright, there we go. So that always got the speed, the altitude. The altitude's too high. It's an at 12,000 feet. Now I'm trying to tell the airplane what I want it to do. And I'm going to click insert. And then insert. That is correct now. 250 on the speed, 12,000 feet. Done. That's what we want. Now, top of descent should be coming up shortly. And then we're going to do a brake to vacate. I'm going to show you kind of how that's done. We're looking at 9 right. Probably get off on North 10 or November 10. So if we go to terminal charts, I'm going to go to the Atlanta page. And I'm going to go to the airport chart here in Atlanta. Let's kind of show you airport information, the 10-9. That's what we want. So we're looking at 9 right, and I want November 10. That'll be a nice one. We'll just exit that and go down Delta, and then kind of get into this concourse area. So Delta, November 10 is what we want. So what we're going to do is we're going to go down here. We're going to flip this all the way to 10, and then you're going to go to zoom, and it's going to load the airport map, and then click it one over, and then you see this little I can show you, hang on. Whoa, alright, you see this little, we're going to flip that up, and I'm going to go ahead and click zoom, zoom, zoom. Now, oh, I forgot to do this. It's got to go in your plan mode. It's going to load the map. So make sure you're in plan. Then we're going to go down through 10, through to zoom, It's going to load our airport map. Okay. And that's going to be perfect. Now, you could see there's a line that says dry and a line that says wet here. And I'm going to see if I can't come a little closer. So I'll just kind of show you. All right. So you have a line here that says dry, and you have a little line here that says wet. And we want to, I want to drill down even further. I gotta back up. Oops. I don't know what's going on with the airplane. I think I hit a wrong button or something. I'm gonna go down, drill down even quicker, and then I can click and drag this. As you can see, there it is. So I want to give our passengers a nice ride. So let's go down in November 10 on the exit. So it says set right here. It says set BTV exit. So I'm just going to flip that, and it's going to put us a bunch of numbers up here. It's going to give us meters, dry, our exit. Turnaround time is about 70 minutes. And then we'll exit out on here. Now, when you're done with that, what you do, you don't have to do anything here. You're just telling it what's going on. You could look at this stuff, but you don't need to. Once that's done, you're just going to come over to the auto brake and hit select. And what that's going to do is going to light blue BTV on your FMA here, and that's it. You're done. You're ready. So it's going to brake to vacate November 10. So it'll slow us down about 10 knots when we get to that point. And we're going to go ahead and back up. That's 5 clicks, and that should get us back to 10. Then we're going to go 20, and then 40. And then finally, I'm going to get it out of the plan mode. We're going to go nav mode. And that is it. We'll be top of descent here shortly. We're looking at, let's see here. And right now it's 17:51, so approximately like 15 minutes we'll be on our descent. Alright, so folks, we kind of blew the descent point. So what I'm going to do is go down to 12,000 like this, and when you pass that mark, that was my fault. I had to set it to 21,000. I mean 41,000. When you set that, you want to see descent in your mark, like on your FMA here, throttle's idle descent, and it's going to go pretty quick until we can catch the profile. We might need it to help. We might have to throw the speed brake out a little bit, and that's not to slow down, that's to actually increase our descent rate. So because we went a little bit over, now normally a good practice is do it about 1,000 feet. You can see how far we are above profile. So one thing we can do is we could pull this down. I won't do it just yet, but that speed brake right here is going to help increase the descent rate. So we're at 3,400 feet a minute, and it's still got a little wiggle room to catch profile. So we're descending and a little bit on the high side just because I forgot to reset my FMA altitude. When that was done, normally what you should do is obviously set your FMA, push this button about even 20 miles before your top of descent, and that way it'll give you a better descent on down. So I'm watching the aircraft, I'm looking at our profile, we're nice and high. I'm going to go ahead and try to pull this just a little bit, and just pull a little bit of that, and then see what the airplane is going to do. It should increase our vertical descent, and it is. You can see now we're at 4,100. I'm trying to catch profile again, and so seatbelts are coming on. This is a good exercise just to see. Now we're at 4,700. This is good. We're trying to catch that profile, right? We definitely are a little bit aggressive in terms of trying to get down quick. We're at 4,800 feet a minute. Not very comfortable for your passengers, by the way, when you're descending this much on this much of a clip. And this has got a very efficient wing. Now you're 5,200, but you're still good we're going to catch profile here, guys. This is a really good exercise in this aircraft, just because of the, you know, what's happening here. And I'm watching this, and we're doing 5,900 feet a minute, but look at our profile. We're catching. And once this green dot gets closer, then we can pull that speed brake in and let the aircraft have a go at the profile. So that's what happens if you get high and you miss your profile, you miss your top of descent point like I did. This is a good technique to do it. Now you can see the airplane's pushing this level. You could throw more brake, but now the green dot's coming in. So when that green dot comes in, we'll retract our speed brakes. Ready? It's gonna start. It's gonna let go. I'm just waiting. Okay, we might need a little bit more speed brake to help it slow down because it's on the top end of that speed. So now we can see the profile. We have caught it almost. Waiting. And now we are caught. So now the speed brake is coming in. We got no speed brake anymore. We're a clean wing. And the airplane will now do its thing to maintain that profile. Okay, so it'll give it's a really nice feature, because in the 7.3 you don't have this, right? You just have you have to know what speeds to fly, and this aircraft will actually variable its speed or pitch to hold profile. There's many ways you could do it. This is just one of them, but that's it. We're heading on down. So good technique to do is about 20 miles, reset your altitude, and then push it in, and then the airplane will capture, and then we'll drop. I came late to the sim, that's why I got a little bit behind it, but that's a good technique to use. You can always pull that speed brake and help you increase your vertical descent rate. And now we're going to watch the profile here. You can see it's on the max end of the speed, and we're going to miss profile. So again, go ahead and drop down to speed. Just knock that speed brake down a little bit and see what happens. It's a very clean wing. Airbus built a very, very clean wing, very efficient wing, so it does not want to slow down. And there we go. We're catching profile again, and I'm just going to keep that speed out, just that brake, use those brakes a little bit. Now, if I did this a little earlier, if I did it about, like I said, 20 to 30 miles before top of descent, it probably been a little better. Maybe not, you have to use the speed brake, but in this particular case, it was a little aggressive, so speed brake's back in. The airplane is holding profile. You just got to stay on top of it, because it could be it could throw you a curve here. Once we're done, we're going to Andy, and then we're going to go Andy. I think we're going to go straight up to Andy. There's Andy, and you see this is Andy, then D-fins, but if you look at the approach, you see D-fins twice. We got Andy, then D-fins, and from there we should be good to go. We got D-fins, then we're gonna go, hold on just a minute. Let's go back up a couple times just to make sure I got this thing. That's 610 on D-fins, then we got Guy. Yeah, we're good. I just want to make sure we're all set and ready. That is true. How we doing on our... Okay, we're getting a little too high again. We're going to pop that speed brake in. Get that airplane... I got 2 notches of speed brake now. I was trying to slow down. We're through 18,000, so let's go ahead and get this set. 2992. It is not 2992. I think Atlanta was reporting our weather was what? Catching profile, speed brake coming back in. I've got 3020. So I'm going to go ahead and set that 3020 right now. And there we go. 3020 is set. We're through 18,000. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to throw my wing on. Landing lights are coming on. Nose lights are takeoff. Everything else looks good. Seatbelts are on, that's on. Mobile is... We'll keep it on auto for now, and that is it. We were catching profile again. We got Glavin here to 12,000. I'll go ahead and increase this. You see this little level off segment coming up. After Glavin, we're going to go ahead and continue our descent to 9,000. So I'm going to go ahead and set this to 9 and all the way down actually to about 6,000. I'm going to go ahead and flip this over, or 6,500, right around there. Perfect. All right, here comes the intermittent level off. 250 on the speeds. The airplane's going to slow down. I got the speed brake in. You can see we're just a little bit now low, but that's okay because the airplane's going to level off. We have to burn that speed down to 250 as our speed restriction over Glavin. There we are. See how you can use the speed brake if you want to slow down, but the airplane is pretty darn smart in terms of the computer. The computer system knows, all right, we got to level off, we got to slow down, and it builds that in. I mean, you could see this little magenta line. I don't know if you can see it in the FMA, but I mean in the ND display, but it actually will tell you we're going to make that restriction. It's pretty cool. And the 7.3, you got to really gauge your energy, and a little difficult, more difficult than the 737 and manage energy than this aircraft. I mean, you still got to manage, but it's not like... There it is. So we caught profile. We're at 250. Now we know we're going to hit that speed, and the airplane will continue its path down at 250 knots, down to, you know, down to about 6,500 or 6,000, I think. Well, I should put 6,000. There we go. So that's set. You can see how the speed, we're going to go ahead and track. It's going to level. There it is, our restriction. We're hitting 2,000 at restraint, and we're at 250 knots. Perfect. Good on the speed. Good speed restriction there, crossing Glavin now. And the airplane will continue down now to hit the next waypoint at 9,000. Will be Yaba. The airplane's going to track in. It's going to do its thing. That's it, man. We got a beautiful day here in Atlanta. Clear skies, just 170 to 11, 10 miles visibility, 3020, and all set. Now, remember I said this is such a clean wing, it just is. So I'm going to run the checklist. I've done most of it already. Seatbelts are on. We have VTV medium. Our approach briefing is complete. We did our altimeters. So we should be good to go. 3020. I'll go ahead and set this on standby here. 3020, sorry. There we are. So we got 3020 set, and if you wanted to, you can drop in and look at checklist complete. That was for a while ago, and just go ahead and pull your checklist up, and you're going to say, you know, approach checklist. If you wanted to, you could do that. Barrow is set. We've done it. Minimums are set. Runway conditions are entered. Auto brake is coming in, and we've set it already. So checklist complete. Let's go ahead and throw that in there. Checklist complete. Done. I did it again. I hit the wrong dang button. All right, there we go. Right there. And then our landing next. Okay, approach checklist is coming out. We're going to flight nav instruments. We verified those. We have everything set. Cabin is notified. And we would have chimed the cabin twice, so you'd come up here and you'd hit the cabin chime, which is just the seatbelts. That's it. You just let them know we've passed 10,000 feet. And then your FMS phase, descent approach, we've already filled that in. the pref page, like I said. So we're going to hit that 9,000 restriction. We're going to come down to 8,000 over at Navy. And so we're just monitoring the aircraft at this point. There's 9,000. Okay, so there's our restriction. I'll go ahead and 10. All right, so we're watching it. We're good on speed. And then we're going to go ahead and keep on trucking down to 8,000 here in just a minute. There we go. The engine's coming up a little bit. It's getting a little slow. Now we're good. That'll track down to that 8,000. And this is why this airplane's such an efficient wing. It's so difficult to slow down. So you're going to want to get down to a good speed here shortly. I wonder if I can mess around with this. If we go to the fix page, probably not the time to do it, but I'm going to be looking just for the heck of it. Probably not the time. Yeah, I don't think it's the time, but all right, let's see what we got going on out there. All right, there's 8,000. So now we're coming through. We've got Andy's our next. Yep. And that's going to be basically when we hit Andy, we're going to be on the ILS. We'll just grab the ILS. It's at 7,000 feet, and that's, let's see here, 5. It's like 20 miles out at Andy. So there's no issue. RW0, we're starting to, yeah, it's probably not a good time to do this right now. You can see I'm going to go ahead and throw the approach on, and it's going to grab it and say, all right. That's going to hook up. We got localizer hooked up. We're at 6,000, so that's our altitude. We're going to hold this. We're going to start slowing the aircraft down a little bit, okay? We're going a little fast. So I'm going to bring it down to 210 or so. Right there. You see how that... Okay, hold on. So you have to pull it out and then it'll slow it down, right? So that's how that's going to work. About 210. Once we get down... See, the airplane's starting to descend here. We got to get this thing slowed. And so I'm going to pop some speed brake. And it's going to help us slow down a little bit. It's going to increase our descent. But I don't want to sit there and go, you know, land and be screaming at you if you were doing, you know, you got to start slowing down about 210 right around here. I want to get about flap 1 in there to start slowing the aircraft down a little bit. There we are. Once we get at a decent speed, we're looking good here. We're going to go ahead and select flap 1 with the slats in. Now you can see slat speed is right there, about just north of 180. But I'm going to go ahead and throw that flap 1 in there. And I'll pop the speed brakes in. There we are. You can see, ooh, that didn't like that. So we're just going to keep those speed brakes in. We're going to slow the aircraft down to about 180. All right, I got a little bit of speed brake in just to help the aircraft. I might need to pop a second notch. About 200 knots now. That's kind of where old school flying comes in handy, where I got speed brakes in.
$2,500.
All right, let's get the gear down here. There we go. There we go. Gear down. And then let's drop that speed. Get that drag out. Really help the aircraft slow down a little bit. Whoa. Lap 2. Speed brakes in. See what I mean? This is such an efficient wing. It's really difficult. Flap 3. We got to get down there. About 145. All right, ready? Flap full. Flap full. And we'll go through our checklist. Let's see here. Gear is down. 3 is green. We are armed. We're ready. Gear down. Flaps are landing and spoilers are armed. Landing checklist complete. We're just slightly over the speed. And we have some crosswinds coming in. Nice stiff crosswind at 20 knots.
1,000.
Right. I'm trying to get this recording here, guys. 1,000. Now I can go ahead and, if I want to, I can go ahead and take over if you want to. I'm just going to leave it right now. We got landing inhibit. I've got the aircraft. The speed's going to come up. So it's my plane. I'll cancel that. Roger, we got that. And what I'm trying to do is feel the wind. Just trying to get an idea of
500.
Where we are with this crosswind going on.
400.
The airplane's all over the place.
Sync rate.
Got it.
300.
So it's taking
200.
Taking the turbulence pretty good. I'm just going to keep correcting that just a little bit.
Glide slow.
Roger. I'm correcting. 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 There we go. I don't want to go too much.
100.
Glide slow.
All right, we're getting blown off the center line.
80, 70,
Glide
60,
slow.
50, 40, 30, 20.
Retard.
10.
All right, we're there. Hold it. A little bit there. Reversers. Get that reverser out. They're out. I was just going to let it go. You got BTV in there. So just keep the reversers in. And then we can pop those reversers out. And the airplane will brake to vacate right here on 10, if you believe that. And that is slick Rick. It'll go to about 10 knots. And we'll go ahead and increase our speed to get out of here. Welcome to Atlanta. You know, there's probably a lot of you saying, oh, you just, you know, let the automation do everything. And with the speeds and stuff like that. And while the automation's great, sometimes it's a really good idea to know how to fly the airplane, you know, to slow down. And that's called, I think it's just called airmanship, right? It's like, oh, we're going to have to slow down because we have a lot of energy. This wing is very efficient.
Remain seated with your seatbelts fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop.
All right, so we've got AMDB. If you're a Navigraph subscriber, this is what you get, which is awesome. You can see that wind is just kicking hard on that right side for us today. Lots of wind. So we did it. We made it to Atlanta. I showed you kind of, if you get up above profile a little bit, what would you do? The airplane's really good on the other way. If you're below profile, the airplane will kind of sense it, settle it down. And you know, the descent obviously was aggressive, and I would love to be able to, you know, go back about 40 miles or 30 miles from top of descent and do, you know, select descent. And what it'll do is it'll descend about 1,000 feet a minute. That's kind of what you want, 1,000 feet a minute here. I'll go ahead and cross this runway and get the airplane shut down, and we're done. Okay, and we're going to go straight in. So I'm just going to tap the brakes here really quick. We'll get the aircraft cleaned up. So you're going to throw landing lights are off, your nose lights on taxi, wing lights are coming off, strobes are on auto, and then we'll start the EPU. All right, nose lights off. We'll go to the next one here. Tap the brakes. Fox 5. I'm gonna go ahead and shut down number 2. That's such a big fan right there. At 24, it just kind of just shuts down. It doesn't give you, like, you throw it to idle, everything stops. It's crazy. See what I mean? So, I think that's good. We'll call that done. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and set my park brake. Park brake's coming set. And then I'm gonna shut down number 1. And as you can see, the nice. And we're gonna come upstairs and we're just gonna shut off our fuel. All the fuel tanks coming off. That's it. And we'll hook up the ground power. Get everything chalked up. Get the GPU on the aircraft. We'll toggle the jetway. And that is all she wrote, folks. Beacons off. Seatbelts off. Beacons off. Nice. Okay. That's it. Let's go on the overhead here. And you can see you do external number 2 first, and then number 1. I'm going to shut the APU off. And that is it. Well, folks, I hope you enjoyed this series on the Airbus A350. It's been fun. It's a good airplane to fly. I think they did a really good job with it. Next flight, we'll have to do some ETOPS preparation on how to prepare this thing for an ETOPS flight. Maybe do a long haul somewhere. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you want to see a long haul ETOPS preparation with the FMC and all that. Until next time, keep the blue side up and the brown side down. We'll see you later.